Good afternoon, folks. I'm going to review Deepal S09. I've been flooded with requests to test this car. So, as usual, make yourself comfortable. Tea, cookies, let's go. The designer probably goes to his boss and says, "Why do we have to reinvent the wheel? Let's just copy gilevich.eng Li9 completely." And the boss thinks, "That's a great idea. I can pay them less and save more money." So I guess that's the deal. Now I see why everybody want me to review this car. The interior is shockingly impressive for the price. It's richer than the BMW 7. I don't understand how they did this for the price, but we'll figure it out now. So the first and second rows have 8 points massage, ventilation, and heating, and the third row features only heating. There's Napa leather all around. It's leather level like in gilevich.eng. And you know what's amazing? Gilevich.eng's material is great only in the center of the seat, the leather. The sides are starting to feel like rubber. But here, everything is covered completely. The top and the backs, and even the second row backs. Here it's a cheaper material, like on the dashboard. This is artificial leather, but it's still soft Napa. But the seat is awesome. Just awesome. Okay, now it's our job to figure out what they saved money on. Because as you and I know, there are no miracles. Curb weight?
2,668.
Extra 160 kilograms somewhere.
Whose battery?
Gato.
What kind?
Iron.
Iron phosphate. Understood. That's the 160 kilograms. This battery is heavier and cheaper than lithium. So we figured that out here. 4 fingers in front of the knees. 187 centimeters tall. The seat cushion is just average. Driver's box covered in fabric. The bottom is also covered with a smooth material. This is rough plastic, not smooth, on the column. So the bottom here is wrapped in the same nice material as the top. Yes, there are no questions here. Inside is bare plastic. Double glass? Either plastic or, yes, it's plastic. Well, it feels very close to aluminum, if not for the sound. 20 speakers. There are 2 places for wireless charging, but only one has airflow and charges at 50 watts. This section looks really nice, very natural. You can't even tell if it's wood or not, but it's plastic. Look, they saved on the screens. Even though the shell is Harmony OS from Huawei, the image quality itself is at the level of BYD cars, that is, slightly above average. The processor is slower than BYD's. BYD has screens that aren't the best in picture quality, but they are quick. Here it lags a little. That is, these screens are not at the level of gilevich.eng, Huawei Ido, and other similar vehicles. It's cheaper. But it has the Harmony OS interface. Thank you, it's clear. I understand there's an English language option. Yes, it has English. It lags here. It lags. Look, you can swipe. You can swipe 2 screens. They complement each other. You can see that in this picture. Okay, now I see. They saved money here and saved money on the battery. Let's keep going. Materials. As I said, it's just mind-blowing here. The top is microfiber, and here we have smooth Napa leather. Rough plastic there, but the steering wheel is Napa. Everything feels nice. There are buttons and knobs. It doesn't give off a cheap vibe in this aspect. Everything works well. Here we have a refrigerator. I'll show it later. The console can move backwards. Everything is covered here as well. Let's check for squeaks. The screens fit well. There was a little squeak here. Well made. Alcantara here. It's not the best quality, slightly below average in feel. There's a camera that opens and closes. There are lights. There is a physical button for the back row sunshade, and this one with hands only. This is their highest configuration. There's a projector on the windshield and you can open the map, but visually it's a bit cheaper than in the gilevich.eng. And Huawei. The picture is a bit harsh on the eyes. It's decent. No complaints at this price. I'm curious about the mechanisms. No questions. Here they also covered it with the same smooth material as here. The steering wheel is adjustable in height and reach on the tablet. With this knob. Look what's happening with the center console. We know the fridge is in the armrest, it's not here, but we can move the console back. Why didn't you move? I pressed it. Do you need to hold it down? Look, this story moves and the refrigerator has appeared for the rear passengers as well, if needed. And in the armrest, I have physical buttons. With these buttons, we can do massage, ventilation, and heating. And why did you go? Let's see, the console is moving forward. The seat moves to the center. All right, this is nice. I feel comfortable. The same applies to the left side. The seat shifts slightly inward as we understood. I am closer to the left passenger now.
你好，声浪。
我在。
打开200屏幕。
好的。
Screen is 21 inches. It's the same as the restyled Li9. Look, there's 3K on the paper, but it seems that 3K can be different. Li9 also has 3K, but there's a cooler screen. It's not bad here. The level of Denza N9. Unfortunately, I can't play any song due to copyright issues. But I'm not very knowledgeable about music and sound. I've got my wife filming with me today. She's good at it. She said it's worse than what we had in our Li9. It's okay for the money, but it's not as good as in Li9. I'm sitting comfortably. We're measuring the third row. Let's go to the second now. One fist in front of my knee, and we're going to the third row. I have a bit less than a fist here. I could ride far in this row. I can adjust the backrest, which was already fully lowered to the max. You can easily ride on this row for long distances. I have plastic here. There's a bit of Alcantara. Everything is fine here, it's all soft, except this one's plastic. It has heating, a charging port, and USB. There's no table on the left side in the back, just here. There's a spot for a pen. A 40 kilowatt-hour battery is reasonable for this price. I can... Okay, I get it. Unfortunately, I can't adjust the suspension up and down, even though there's air suspension. Look, there's another niche. The wheels are nice. 265 on 45 R21. They gave Michelin. There is a footrest, you see. It's dirty. It has ventilated disc brakes. Same wheels at the back. Yes, 265 is the same. No soft closer. Check out the dinosaur I discovered here. This is the same place where we shoot Shenlan, Deepal. Wow, look here.
Impresa.
Remember? Oh my gosh, how I wanted this car back in the day. It takes 5 seconds to reach 100. Wow. I recall it felt incredibly fast, pushing you into the seat. And now in China, even the most economy class cabs, IN, the acceleration is 6 seconds. How time flies, huh? In the auto world. They gave us 450 HP and 2 electric motors, pure electric acceleration, plus engine 1.5 turbo at 150 horsepower. Acceleration in 5.9 to 100. Because the car weighs 2,680 kilograms. In terms of suspension, double wishbone at the front, multi-link at the rear, and air suspension. Look, there's a little wood-like inlay on the dashboard. It's actually plastic. It's very cool looking, by the way. Very neat. I tested it, and here's what I think. For $42,000, Changan has created a rather intriguing vehicle. Who is its top rival? Certainly it doesn't compare to Denza N9, L9, Lynk & Co 90, or Huawei M8, which I've already tested and will be posting on the channel shortly. Why not? There are no miracles in this world. Deepal feels and drives cheaper than they do. In comparison to Li 9, Deepal isn't as soft, it has poorer handling, and the steering feedback is less informative. In comparison with Denza N9, it's impossible to compare. The suspension tuning is on a completely different level, and a different powertrain. Friends, do not take into account that here is a double wishbone plus air. Of course, the air suspension is good. It gives an opportunity to adjust the ground clearance. But the crucial part is how to tune it all. For example, the new Huawei M8 on the McPherson with adaptive shock absorbers drives more interesting. The BYD Tan L, a double wishbone without air, drives even more interestingly. The teams that tune these cars are just a different level, and they demand higher fees for their work, so the price is different. This Deepal was tuned similarly to Lynk & Co 900, so in both cases they saved on this aspect. But why is Lynk & Co not a competitor? There, the engine is stronger, with more electric motors and overall faster acceleration. It spins and turns in place like the Denza, with the rear wheels which steers. Second row seats swivel. Basically, all those cars are more expensive for a reason. This is clear, right? Now, who are its real competitors? These are the vehicles that are roughly in the same price range. The Huawei M7. It drives better, but the interior is a bit simpler, and there's less space in the third row. The budget is allocated differently. The BYD Tan L. The same story. It drives better, but has less equipment inside and less space in the third row. By the way, tomorrow promises the presentation of a new crossover from Xiaomi. It will be sold for about the same price, but it is smaller in size. Join our Facebook. I'll share details from the presentation there tomorrow. Here we go. All in all, I don't mean to say that the suspension has been tuned badly here at all. Like the Lynk & Co 900, it's just Toyota level. If you drive it quietly, it's comfortable enough. If you drive aggressively, it will wobble. The steering is a bit loose. Sound insulation is average. It seems slightly worse than in Li and Denza. We'll measure it now. Seating. Exactly like Li 9, it lacks lateral support. I like the seat better in Huawei M7 and Tan L. Acceleration, 5.9 to 100, slowest of the competitors. Oh, by the way, it's like that Impreza I showed you. Of course, when you have 4 to 100, it's safer and more pleasant. But 5.9 is also fine for such a large family car. In general, Changan is probably doing everything right. They are looking for a free niche in this segment. That is, for those people who require a bigger car at the price of BYD Tan L or Huawei M7, with more equipment inside, a rich interior finish. At the same time, they are satisfied with Toyota's handling and the ability to adjust the clearance. Next, Autopilot. Here from Huawei, it's a bonus. It's a bonus for this car. But here, As with the 3K screen, Huawei's Autopilot also varies. Here's an example. The Huawei M8, which is almost like an M9 on the inside, and with the same powertrain cost for some reason $15,000 cheaper. One reason is it has weaker LiDAR, and that's of the utmost importance. I think the LiDARs here are cheaper than on M8. Has anyone of you seen what a driverless taxi looks like? They have a huge LiDAR disc on the roof. No one would buy that in a normal car since it messes up the design. It is there specifically for the high precision of the Autopilot's operation. Next, 40 kilowatt-hour battery, 210 kilometers on the CLTC cycle. Realistically, minus 20% in the city in the summer, minus 50 in the cold winter. Fuel consumption will be about 9 liters in summer and 13 in winter. That's the way it is. Okay, that's it. Share your opinion. If you liked it, you know what to do. Goodbye. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. See you soon.